was not in Lawrenceville on the 24th when the stuff happened, but I had friends coming in from Cleveland and Toledo to stay with me to participate in the march on the 25th. And they had to pass through Lawrenceville to get to my house, and they were appalled to see this crowded residential neighborhood where there was essentially a military confrontation going on by the police, and they got tear gassed on the way. I participated in the march on the 25th, and although the police did not attack the People's March on the 25th, boy, they sure looked like they wanted to. The cops were 3 deep all the way through downtown, looking as menacing as possible, holding their nightsticks, and if somebody had looked cross-eyed at them, I'm sure there would have been a police attack on that march. And I personally believe that the crap that went on in Oakland that night was partly the cops taking it out. That they had to stand there through a long march of 8,000 people and didn't get to bash any heads. So they took it out on the Pitt students that night. What happened in this city was appalling. And I applaud this board for holding this hearing, and I urge you to come down with the strongest report you can about this outrageous police behavior in this city. Let me just say something else about Lawrenceville, because I live in a neighborhood away. And, we don't have a library in Stanton Heights. We have to use East Liberty or Lawrenceville. Well, East Liberty shut down for 2 years for reconstruction. And now they're going to close the library in Lawrenceville. So the people of Lawrenceville got to have tear gas, and who knows, they keep changing the names of these things, but a lot of obnoxious chemicals used on them, and they got to have the LRAD experimented with on them. Now our city and our county owns 4 of these things. So we can't afford to keep libraries open, but we can afford to acquire these horrible weapons, these anti-civilian weapons. There's something seriously wrong with this city if those are our priorities.
Yes, my name is Frank Smith, S-M-I-T-H. I'm a longtime resident of Garfield section of Pittsburgh, and I was both at the Lawrenceville March as well as the one on Thursday. The Lawrenceville March, there was no violence until they started blocking off streets, shooting tear gas. Up until that point, it was a very festive march, militant, but very festive march, and that's when the trouble started. The cops started, basically attacking people. I was also Thursday in Shirley Plaza Thursday. I took part in that. As I was leaving, I was up on the sidewalk. There was one of the cops walking on the street. He said something like, keep moving. I was like, I'm leaving, okay? He jumps up, slams me to the ground. He's like slamming my face in the cement, He's like, relax. I was like, how do you relax when your face is being slammed to the cement? I went to, it's okay now, but for at least 2 weeks it was like, I'm cut red. I got no medical treatment at all except for a few bandages, some salve. That was pretty much, I asked for a doctor, but there was another young man who was arrested there. He was complaining about his shoulder, and they were complaining, he was a little overweight. They were saying like, if you weren't so fat, you could have run away, or if you weren't so fat, your shoulder would be bothering you. I mean, really. And he was sitting on a park bench when he was arrested, and they jumped him. Like I said, I've talked to people at work, friends, people in my church, Everyone supports me, They all are appalled by what happened there, No one, I haven't run into one person that said, why were you there? Why were you with those people? Even my church, which is kind of a conservative church, I didn't hear one person say, why were you with those people? Why, you shouldn't have been there. No one said that. They just said, they won't apologize what the cops did, what they saw on TV. So I think basically, that one lady over here said something about people on the third dumpsters running in her alleyway. I'm sorry that a woman spit on her. If that did happen, it should have happened, but it's not her alleyway. And they probably wanted to run if they weren't being shot, and the cops weren't shooting tear gas at them. They're shutting off all the streets, I probably know what happened if they let us march down there. Express our First Amendment rights, Thank you.
Hi, my name is Keith Breeze. I live on Melwood Avenue. D-E-V is in Victor, R-I-E-S. I live on Melwood Avenue in North Oakland. I've been a student at Pitt for 4.5 years. I'm going to graduate in December. And my street, about a week before the summit even started, was raided. Several of my neighbors' houses were raided. just to set the tone for how it felt in my neighborhood. One of whom, one of my neighbors found cops in his living room. He says when he got home, that was a week before. But I've been, not only am I a student, but I'm also an independent journalist. I've freelanced for the Post-Gazette, but I'm also working on an independent documentary for 6 credits at Pitt, which I was working on Friday night when I was arrested on the Cathedral lawn. I don't see any difference between, getting paid to be a journalist or to do video on my own time. I'm actually doing it for no pay. I'm appalled at the fact that, in my opinion, the cops targeted journalists, and we have several incidents on videotape. One being my friend John shooting the arrest from the sidewalk as he was dispersing, of someone shooting video of policemen with his iPhone. The policeman came up to the guy and knocked his phone out of his hand, threw him on the ground. And when John said, "Hey, what's your name? Let's get this on tape," the cops came over and said, "Spray him, spray him." He said, "I'm on the sidewalk." They sprayed him anyway, right on the camera. There's another situation, my friend Anthony was just taking a picture on Thursday of someone who's being arrested. And Anthony was arrested while taking that photo, in addition to a National Lawyers Guild legal observer right there. Another case, there is a witness who saw, you probably have seen the Bike Girl YouTube video, where the cops kind of came up on this girl and she spun around. There was a second camera shooting that same incident. People say, well, we don't know what the situation was. We don't know why the cops pushed her, why she did that. There was a second camera that a witness said was knocked down to the ground. They basically took the camera from this other person, showing the other side of, the full side of the story, hopefully. That's footage we'll never see. There's probably just as much, beyond that we will not, ever even know about or hear about. Getting to my arrest, I went down to Shenley Plaza around 8:30 on Friday night. It was totally peaceful. The concert, I guess, I just missed it. I was just doing interviews and talking to people. There was actually a guy showing his photos of, his Stanley Cup trophy down in Lawrenceville at the protest the day before, and the cop says, "Oh, that's awesome." It was just calm, peace, everything. Nothing had changed until we were surrounded by probably 150 cops around Shenley Plaza. Before any dispersal order was given, we were pushed across Forbes onto the Cathedral lawn, and my battery had died. I was leaving. I live on Melwood, so it's directly that way. And as I was trying to cut across the lawn directly to my spot, there was nowhere to go because we were surrounded. We actually have some, yeah. I'm sorry. Cool. Thank you. Thank you.